2020 has taught us a lot of lessons. And it's been really interesting to see how a lot of businesses have responded and adapted to change. So many of us have pivoted to working online to now find that it has a lot of advantages, but also some disadvantages. So I thought I would share with you my favorite pros and cons to having a remote team. My team is actually all remote. There's a lot of members on my team that I actually haven't even met in person. We work together every single day. We're on Zoom every single day, but they're from so many different places all over the world. And a lot of people ask how we do that, and that is something that I teach in my 21-day Infinite Video Impact Challenge. I teach it a lot in some of our other programs about how we hire, how we manage all of our workflows so that all of us can work virtually without feeling like we're disconnected or micromanaged. We actually have a really great communication and planning structure that means that we get all of our goals and our targets and commitments completed within an easy time frame, and that my team has the freedom and flexibility to work from anywhere and even in their pajamas. Now that I think of it, I have never seen anyone on my team work in their pajamas, but I mean, they have the option. Now that I think of it, we have seen business on the top, pajamas on the bottom. Yeah. Another pro to working remotely. For me, having a remote team is such a dream come true because everyone's just accustomed to it. They get to work from home, they have the flexibility, they have the freedom, they can travel when they want to. They end up taking less time off even though they have more flexibility. For me, I travel a lot for work while I'm able to. Coronavirus has changed some things, but it also puts less pressure on me as the leader because I can continue to work from anywhere. My team isn't relying on me to be in a specific place. They know that even if I'm traveling, I'll get everything that they need or be able to communicate with them in different hours. Like recently, I just went on a trip to Alaska where I was masterminding with some other entrepreneurs and business owners while also having a good balance of fun and fishing. And I could still get on calls with the team and be there to work during the different hours and still keep things running smoothly, even though I was in a different location. Same thing with my team. I have some employees that they'll travel to other cities to visit family, or they'll take a little long weekend getaway, but while they're in transit or while they've just gotten to their location, they can still check in and still do little things and not feel like they're completely leaving work, and they also don't have to take a full day off of work. It's also convenient because they can oftentimes make their own hours. Sure, we do have set times where we have daily huddles and little meetings or calls that we need throughout the day, but for the most part, people that have kids, people that have, other obligations, or even just their creative flow comes at different times of the day, they have the flexibility to work at different hours. As an employer, I also feel better about being able to provide that opportunity for my employees. I know that when I was in a 9-to-5, I hated having to ask permission to take time off or ask permission to take a longer lunch break. I hated that, if I wanted to go to the doctor, I had to request time off and have it be approved. For my employees, of course it's common courtesy to just let us know so that if there's any calls that they're missing or if we're relying on them or trying to reach out to them in that time, we're just like, cool, go do your thing. It gives them the flexibility so that they can also come to work and work on their projects without having that pressure and noise of, feeling obligations or feeling strict on their timelines or schedule. I feel so good about this as an employer because I want to give my employees the best environment and opportunities for them to thrive so that when they are working, they love what they do. They love who they work for. They love the company that they're a part of and the culture that they're building. And it makes me feel good to lead with that. Some of the cons of having a remote workforce: certainly when we're hiring, we need to be looking specifically for people that have that self-motivation, that self-discipline to be able to get things done and work remotely. Honestly, it doesn't work for everybody. There are some different personality types, and we need to make sure as we're hiring that it's someone that can still get the job done while taking advantage of the freedom and the time freedom that they get. We do everything that we can to make sure that we help our employees with time management skills. We have lots of systems in place, like our communication structures. We have metrics and milestones for them. We have weekly commitments that are clearly laid out so that we're not micromanaging. They don't need to be micromanaged. They just know what their commitments are and the time frame they have to do it. Up front, this might seem like a little bit more work to create those systems, but honestly, long term, it's so worth it. And when we first created this was with the help of Alex Sharfin's program, and we had implemented his waterfall system where you create your yearly objectives, your 90-day targets, your 30-day goals, your weekly commitments. And once we implemented this, it allowed us to hit our 90-day target in 3 weeks. So it is absolutely possible to work remotely. Now those were some of my pros and cons, but I actually asked my team to submit what they believe are pros and cons. I'm gonna read to you some of their answers. This is the first time I'm reading them, so I don't know what to expect. Jennifer, my executive assistant, says that she gets to schedule flexibility so she can pick up her kids from school and activities, especially during COVID, coronavirus, everything changed for us. So she's able to, like, you know, we have our meetings, our huddles at scheduled times, but other than that, she can be flexible to be with her kids, make them lunch, take them out when she did this funny thing when we were in quarantine. She called, when she would take them out, she would say exercising the inmates. And of course, I feel for them, but I'm so glad that she has the ability to be at home with her kids. Jennifer also says it allows me to balance career life with mama life, and that's really important to me. And I actually really love when our team, you know, they're on our daily huddles, they're on Zoom, and I get to see their kids in the background playing and sometimes sitting on their lap and waving and talking to us in the calls too. And I remember sometimes when employees would first come onto the team and they would be like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, like trying to, you know, shuffle off their kids, but that's life. Like, I personally would rather have the kids be involved, let them see what their parents do, let them know what work-life balance is. And of course, I enjoy kids, so I love when they get involved in our meetings. Devin, our Facebook ads manager and customer service rep, also says balancing being a mom and having a career, and she crushes at both. Devin also says, I can work from my recliner and be comfortable with my knee that doesn't feel good in a desk. Definitely having the flexibility to work from, you know, whatever is comfortable for you, having that power spot, that environment that allows you to be your best. Devin actually had to take some time off to have surgery on her knee, but the other great thing about that is that she didn't have to take as much time off as one might have to in an, you know, outside of the home 9 to 5, because when she was ready, she could, you know, have her laptop and an internet connection to work at her own pace at home comfortably. Devin also gives us a pro here. She says, my desk is right by the kitchen, so everyone decides to walk by or think they're hungry when I'm on a call or deep in thoughts. I luckily don't have too many people in my house or anybody in my house, so I don't have this problem. However, the kitchen being close to me means distraction sometimes when I'm procrastinating and want a snack. This one is so funny from Jennifer. She says this is a con, forgetting to mute my mic when I'm yelling at my kids. Luckily, we haven't heard too much of that, but when we do, we just laugh at it and cheer her on. She doesn't yell at them, she just parents them. Shafeen also agrees. He loves that he gets to make his own schedule. Sarah gives us a few here. Sarah is our copywriter. She says, I get to do what I love from the privacy of my own home, and I love that she loves what she does because she is so dang good at what she does, and I love what she does. And then to her con, she says, sometimes it gets a little lonely since I'm the only one here aside from our fish. And you know what, so we just get on Zoom when we need to like work together or have any communication, or sometimes I'll send them little like Instacart gifts just to be like, hey, thinking of you, good job team. Sarah then says, it also takes time to get a routine going where you can mentally separate being at work and being off work. That's such a good point that she brings up. When you work at home, it can be hard to know what's the boundary between work and home life. Like for me, I walk from my bedroom to the kitchen to my office, and it's very easy to just go right back and forth. So I need to have boundaries set for myself that like, these are my work hours, this is when I'm done, put the phone away, turn it on mute. Sarah's really good at turning the phone on mute when she's off of work so that no one can bother her outside of those hours, or that she can actually like have that boundary and break between. Crystal also says, in a pandemic, I don't have to worry about interacting with people outside of my house, keeping you safe at home. And then Crystal also says, as a con, she says, I can't just walk over to the next office or cubicle and ask someone on the team a quick question, but we do have apps like Boxer, Zoom that we use for team communication, which I also think is a good thing. You know, Alex Sharfin talks about this, like got a minutes, when you just walk into someone's office, say, hey, you got a minute? And it can disrupt them or distract them from the flow that they were in. So in a way, I kind of like that we avoid that. And I'll end with this last one. This one is also from Sarah, and I totally agree with this. She says, as a con, not being able to meet my coworkers in person, it would be so cool to have a holiday party or go for drinks on a Friday or something. I absolutely wish we could do that. When I had a 9 to 5 and I lived in Toronto, it was such a big city. It was so fun. It felt like downtown New York and being able to hang out with friends. And I miss that kind of interaction. And so far the best we do is have little like themed Fridays where we all dress up and have a fun daily huddle on a Friday. I've had some employees that I've brought with me to events or things like that, and in the future would love to be able to bring everybody when we're out of quarantine and when we can travel more. Working remotely can definitely have its downsides, but for the right person, it can totally be a dream come true. The right person, like this person, I love it. If you work from home as an entrepreneur or as an employee, if you're working remotely, sound off in the comments, how is it for you? What are the pros and cons that you found working remotely? And don't forget, if you're interested in driving massive impact and profit for your business through video, no matter where you are in the world, working remotely, wherever you have an internet connection, I would love for you to join me in my next 21-day Infinite Video Impact Challenge. More details in the link below. Thanks so much for watching. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up, comment below, and subscribe for more weekly videos.